I have got an exciting video today. Something really awesome has happened on the XRP Ledger that you may have heard of. I want to have a quick look at the price of XRP, which is currently $2.84, which is neither here nor there as it moves sideways, surrounded by activities in the market doing the same thing, things moving sideways. Actually, Bitcoin did a little bit of a recovery today, but let me just put it in the 7-day. You can see it's starting to come back nicely. And this is the thing with Bitcoin. We're only one happy pump away from it just bashing through the all-time highs again, and everyone just wakes up again. So we're actually in neutral at the moment. So the fear alleviated somewhat, and things looking to recover. There was some turbulence in the stock market thanks to NASDAQ and the announcement of intentions to audit companies that are looking to buy crypto. And that basically shook a few investors and they took flight. And as such, we saw some dips here and there. But I think that's going to be resolved soon, and that's just going to be forgotten once the cloud settles on that. So let me get straight to the point, what I'm going to talk about today. And this is to do with this beautiful event. So B3, a giant in the gaming or tokenized gaming industry, has launched on the XRP Ledger, basically. And if you look at the headline here, XRP EVM Sidechain welcomes first gaming chain by B3, and it's called Xcade, and we're going to go right through that. I'm going to point out why this is going to lead to mass adoption of XRP in a minute. Okay, so gaming offers key advantages for blockchain adoption, especially with its mobile first approach. B3 will allow mainstream users to interact with the XRP without complicated wallet configurations. This increases accessibility to a larger target audience and may lead to widespread acceptance. So that's actually quite critical. As it is now, people who dabble in XRP, so to say, have to do it either on a centralized exchange, which involves, complicated login processes, etc., or they host it themselves on wallets, which again has to do with complicated keys, being a little bit of a geek, knowing where things are. With gaming, this is a mass adoption proposition where the interaction with XRP itself happens on an L3 level, where B3 and Xcade themselves are the ones dealing with the interaction. All the person who's playing the game is seeing is either buying and selling using some currency or what have you. We're going to dive deep into that in a minute as well. All right, so seamless gaming integration with XRP. The XRP Ledger Gamechain testnet introduces 5 mobile optimized titles. Players can earn, spend, and interact with XRP in-game. This creates a dynamic in-game economy as users can earn a reward and have liquidity, which demonstrates the usefulness of XRP in the speculative market. Now, gaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and worldwide it could even be a multi-trillion-dollar industry, right? We have mass adoption in gaming, right? If you're from the 80s, right? If you're an 80s child, you remember how many of the dreams that we had back then as kids have been fulfilled, which is why you have grown men who are addicted to gaming, because the things that they wish they could do as children, we now finally have the technology to do, right? So which is why you have grown men buying PS5s and stuff. So there are already millions of people who are playing these games that don't have to be written and developed from scratch, but only have to be ported across now to the blockchain systems, right? So this is the post by B3 themselves on their X account, very extensive, and they talk about Xcade, XRP Ledger. So that Xcade was built using B3 technology on the XRP Ledger Sidechain EVM, if that makes sense, right? So the user-facing platform goes live on testnet today and features 5 playable titles, like I said before, designed for quick mobile-friendly sessions and seamless onboarding. And the fact that it's mobile-friendly or mobile-focused actually pushes the game out to even more people than it would be if it was like a PC game or console game or something like that. No doubt there are going to be PC and console games coming across also to the XRP Ledger via this system. And of course, these games are also playable on PC, but the fact that they're mobile-focused, mobile-optimized is going to be a massive thing, right? With BSMNT, we proved that if you make crypto fun, easy, and rewarding, people will play, said the CEO of NPC Labs. Okay, so in terms of currency, real world utility for XRP and RLUSD by powering in-game economies, secondary markets, and cross-chain interoperability. Additionally, RLUSD will emerge as the preferred stablecoin across the entire B3 ecosystem, providing payments and rewards without risk of volatility. So what that is saying is that B3 ecosystem ecosystem, which encompasses more than this Xcade Sidechain project. It is an 8 million wallet ecosystem with 300 and something million transactions. So it's a huge ecosystem. And that entire ecosystem predicts that XRP and RLUSD are going to come up as the top and preferred currencies to be used on this platform. So that's absolutely massive. So this is Xcade's website itself. As you can see, Xcade is on-chain arcade built on XRP Ledger EVM. Like I said before, B3 open app layer. It's fast, fun, and it's built to grow XRP community. Now, one of the benefits, obviously, that XRP and the XRP ledgers bring into this platform is its speed. It's also bringing its very, very low cost in terms of overhead and the scalability. So those are the three things that we're going to see XRP and the XRP ledger excel at, especially for gaming, micro payments. Now, this has been attempted using in the past, that is Bitcoin and some other cryptos in the past. And finally, we have technology that can actually make mass adoption possible on, via gaming, right? There's been several attempts made in the past. This isn't the first time. Just a lot of it has fallen apart as people couldn't afford some of the overheads, right? With Ethereum, etc. So finally, a system that actually works, right? Now, this is B3 itself. From X-Base team, the future of fun, built on B3. All right, let's go to play now. See some of the games that they offer. A vast array of games. A lot of them are simple, repetitive games that people get addicted to on their phones. There are massive titles also come in that would involve 3D rendering and big POV games and whatever. A lot of these games though are simple sort of achievement based games that involve collecting things and building a world or whatever, or role play. And those are the perfect games for crypto because it involves NFTs and collectibles and buying things to upgrade yourself. And the XRP ledger is just absolutely perfect for stuff like this, right? Now, one of the top games, if not the top game in basically crypto, is called Splinterlands. And at the moment, Splinterlands is actually built on one of my favorite platforms. I've been on this platform for nearly 8 years now, and it's called the Hive blockchain, right? And I'm going to do an entire video. I do one of these every 4 or 5 months because people keep forgetting that this thing exists. Splinterlands brought a lot of adoption to Hive, and I see a Hive ecosystem as sort of like a test net for everybody else, because I've seen a lot of projects that have been on the Hive blockchain for many years, the concept anyway, then go on to some other chain like Solana or Ethereum, whatever, and absolutely blow up because the concept has been well and thoroughly tested on the Hive blockchain. So I'll do a separate video on that for people who are interested. But Splinterland is a very, very popular game, and it's a role-playing type game where you collect a lot of sort of tokens and stuff. People who remember Dungeons and Dragons and all sort of things. This is like that on steroids on the blockchain with actual money involved, right? So you can earn, collect, swap, sell, yada yada yada. So back to Base and B3 rather. So as you can see, very beautiful website, 7 million wallets active and transactions of 350 million. So I think that's been updated. It's 8 point something million wallets now, maybe to do with the fact that they've ported over to the XRP Ledger sidechain. Look at this, Atari is a big name, right? Like I said before, a lot of these games that are going to come to this ecosystem are already developed games, well-known games that are currently maybe running their own reward system via their own bespoke Sony rewards or whatever, Atari rewards, their own thing. But as the technology grows, i.e. blockchain technology, and we have things like XRP that provides speed, low cost, and mass adoption, then we're going to see big names like Atari, we're going to see Sony, EA Sports, etc., come over to the ecosystem and port over some of their amazing games. Remember, they don't have to write these games from scratch. A lot of them already exist. They may write specific games for blockchain, who knows? But the future of this stuff is absolutely insane, and I'm extremely happy to see the XRP Ledger jumping on board. And Solana and Polygon, I think, are maybe a little bit farther ahead because they've they nosedived into that a little bit earlier. But I think with the overhead reduction, the speed of the XRP Ledger, the low cost, and the scalability in the micropayments, it's only a matter of time before the XRP Ledger's proposition far outstrips anything that any other platform may currently offer. And this is an absolutely huge development in the XRP Ledger, because of course it means that we get direct XRP utility in that, people will spend it, collect it, build it. And of course, just like the Saga thing did for, I don't know if you remember the Saga phone, the games and memes on that, what it did for Solana a few years ago, I think we're going to see XRP respond when this thing hits the ground running. No financial advice. I'll see you next one. Peace.